Well, it's better. It sure is better, honey. It sure is better. I'm just going to try and extend the curtain rail either side. And one good thing about this really cheap curtain pole, I think it was £9, is that it's so easy to extend. See this bit here? You literally just pull it in and out. You can hang these IKEA curtains 3 ways. The first way with the special IKEA curtain hooks, 10 per curtain, so 20 for a pair of curtains. The second way with one of those kind of things that roll along from a bar above. And the third way, the way I've done it, which is the easiest way, you just put your curtain pole through the fabric hoops that are sewn into the back of the curtain. But I think then it probably looks best, kind of more regular, if you use the IKEA hooks. So. I originally intended. Because I had the hall stand here and not here, I thought, well, obviously the shelf can't go above the hall stand, it may even knock into the top of it, the brackets would, so I had to put it there, but it looks awful, it looks really weird, there's no coherence, so I'm going to stick to my original plan of the white and natural wood, white paint, natural wood here. I'm going to somehow camouflage that monstrosity and the lovely arts and crafts hall stand, and that thankfully has room enough to go there. I thought, well, obviously the shelf can't go above the hall stand, it may even knock into the top of it, the brackets would, so I had to put it there, but it looks awful, it looks really weird, there's no coherence, so I'm going to stick to my original plan of the... Right, so because I haven't got a spirit level to hang the second shelf, I'm using this pack of shelves from IKEA as a straight line. I'm going to place it on the top of this shelf and draw a few little subtle pencil marks to give me a parallel line. I mean a line the same height on the wall as this shelf. Okay, so I've drawn little pencil lines where the wallpaper is faint, pale, so I can see. Now I have to work out how much down from that line I make the hole to get it the same height, which will be tricky. So we've got the height of the shelf, and then we've got from the top of the bracket to where the screw sits when it's in place. Like that. Like that. Right up there. Okay, so the line I drew with the IKEA shelf in the pack, it kind of sloped up a bit this way, so I measured properly from the ceiling. It's 26.8 centimetres from the ceiling to the top of the shelf, so I measured 26.8 centimetres along here, so I've got a straighter line, and yeah. Then I add 2.4 centimetres, which is the width of the shelf, to 3.5 centimetres, which is from the top of the bracket to where the screw goes into the back of the bracket, so that is 5.9 centimetres. But actually that's not the end of the story, because though I've measured 5.9 and though I've measured the height of the shelf, 2.4 down from the top of the shelf to know where to put the bracket, of course I need to measure how far in the bracket goes, and to the centre of the bracket too. Who would have thought there was such a lot to hang in a shelf, or at least hanging a shelf in it to look like it's in sync with a shelf beside it. So, right, so the one plasterboard filling has gone in fine, but this one, even though the nail felt the same hitting it in, the preliminary nail, now the plasterboard fixing won't screw in, it won't grip. So it's weird, it's like it's just dust around it, it won't grip anything, but at the same time it feels like there's something hard behind. So that's really screwed things up, because now this can't be left there either, and neither can this. I decided just to go ahead and put the screw in the bottom, even though I can't fix it here and get no more nails tomorrow, because there's just nowhere else to put the shelves. I mean, they can't go higher, they can't go further that way, they can't go further this way, so the fact that there's some sort of joist or weird uneven bit of wall there is just tough luck. So cut a bit away from the paper as much as I can without it being visible from the front when the bracket's put back. And now I'm going to try and squeeze no more nails behind the bracket as well as I can, which I need 2 hands for. Actually, what I can do is just remember where the bracket is, like where the line is, and then squeeze No More Nails in a line on the wallpaper and swing the bracket back up. So the bracket's basically, yeah, the wallpaper has handily got a seam there. Okay, so I've done my No More Nails seam. Already a bit messy. Let's try and swing the bracket back up, and then we press it into place. And then do we hold it? I don't know. Maybe I have to clamp it somehow. This is supposed to be invisible No More Nails, so although I've had to wipe a few bits off down the side, when it dries, it's supposed to dry clear. Just wondering how to hold this in place, because the bottom screw is screwed in as tight as I can. Not really sure. I just had the idea of possibly even no more nailing the shelf to these brackets and hoping the weight of the shelf helps set this wobbly bracket. Or will the weight of the shelf mean this bracket here just swings back down, and the tentative way it's sticking now will all be for nothing because the shelf weight is too much. I have to think about that. Another conundrum. This shelf comes in two smaller versions, but though there's room on this wall for the long version and one small version, it would look a bit odd because you'd see the joint. But there's not room for one small version of this shaker shelf either side of the long version. And on the other hand, the shaker shelf on its own just looks a bit lost. I can't really show you because I can't get back far enough, but it looks a bit lost. So now I'm thinking of maybe buying one small version after all. I'm putting it at the end there, and actually sort of putting it underneath and touching these brackets to make it look like it's one piece of furniture, because otherwise it just looks a bit bitty. To make things even more confusing, it turns out I can fit, as I initially actually worked out, I remember now, one long shelf and two short shelves along that wall. Just about. The wall is about 198 centimetres and the two short shelves are 45 centimetres each, and the longer shelf is 105 centimetres. All three shelves coming to a total of 195 centimetres, so just a few centimetres free. But the thing is, if I put the long shaker shelves all the way along this wall and not kind of stopping here where the brackets of the shelves are and here, to make it kind of look cohesive and like it's possibly one piece of furniture, will it just look really bad? Imagine a whole long shaker shelf along there. I don't know, yeah, I think it'll look bad. So I think I'm going to go for just one of the three peg shelves plus the long shelf I've got, and take it from the end of the last bracket to the end of the far bracket. And then I don't know what to do about the join. Maybe just drape a scarf over it. I'll just check the measurement again between those 2 points is 150 centimetres, i.e. 105 centimetres for the long shaker shelf and 45 centimetres for one short shaker shelf. I've just seen that there are two screw holes on the underside of the shelf, which marry up with these two, so there's even more to keep this shelf secure. At the moment, the wobbly bracket is staying in place now without me holding it. It's only been like 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, and I'm just going to double check what screws I need, because I don't have the screws anymore for these. I mean, I put them in the toolbox with the others, so I just want to see how long they are. Okay, so the screw I need is longer than I thought, about twice as long, and they were really tight to get in, so I'm a bit worried that when I screw these two screws in here, it'll destabilize the wobbly bracket again, but I'm going to give it a go. And on top of the screwing the shelf in to the two brackets, I'm going to put no more nails along the top of each bracket, and fingers crossed it'll all work out. Right, so in the process of taking that screw out, just to find out how big and long the screws were I needed, this bracket has completely come loose from the wall. The handyman did this, so thanks handyman. I now have two problems, two completely useless brackets. I'm just going to have to put no more nails there. I have to leave the top of the shelf on there, because probably even if I unscrewed it, put the no more nails behind here, let it set, then re-screwed the top, that itself would possibly make the no more nails come unstuck, I think. So the weight of the shelf will have to stay there. I'm now putting no more nails as best I can behind the shelf and in the tiny gaps. Oh, can you see? Yeah, the tiny gap. I'll squidge it in with a knife or something, and then wipe off the excess and just hope it sticks to the wall. I may have to push this against the wall with something, though what, I don't know, because it's right up by the ceiling. I don't know what piece of furniture I have that's heavy enough to do that, really. Really, all I can say is good job this is invisible, no more nails. I'm just going to smooth it off with a sponge and hope it doesn't damage the wallpaper. But my goodness, what a nightmare these shelves are. What an absolute nightmare. IKEA, can you make the shelves a bit lighter, please, that don't weigh the weight of an oak tree, please? For those of us with plasterboard walls, which are most of us in this day and age, please, can you make the bloody shelves a bit bloody lighter? I was going to say the F word then. And please, handymen, can you not charge the earth for something that doesn't work? I'm just going to wipe the excess away and pray. Right, so I tried to put the grandfather clock against the shelf, and I can't get it close enough to actually... so maybe I have to move the shoe rack. The hall is in chaos. The grandfather clock is definitely pushing the far shelf up against the wall, and there is some, I don't know how much, but some invisible no more nails paste and glue behind those brackets, and to some extent behind the top back of the shelf where the shelf meets the wall. And now onto the second shelf. Right, no more nails dolloped into place on the top of both brackets, and now to screw in the shelf from underneath, from these brackets, from these holes. I can't hold the camera at the moment, but I am taking the weight of the shelf, which is very, very heavy, with my hand, with my right hand, now with my shoulder. I'm taking the screwdriver in my right hand, a screw in my left hand, and I'm going to screw in, first of all, I was going to say the bracket that is firmly fixed to the wall, but I think actually the sensible thing to do is to first of all screw in the bracket that's not firmly fixed to the wall. So now I'm putting the screw into the bracket, and I'm going up through the hole, screwing the screw in, and hoping I meet... Actually, I'll have to plank in egg. I have to take the shelf up again to try and find the hole. Right. So first of all, I'm holding the bracket. So now I'm holding the shelf up from the bracket with my head. The screw is now emerged from the top of the bracket. I am putting the screw into the hole in the shelf. It's now in, and I'm now screwing it up into the shelf with no more nails absolutely everywhere. Right, it's going into the shelf, and I just hope and I pray that I've put the brackets in the right place, because I cannot afford at this point to have made that mistake. Oh, I just forgot, I should have put no more nails behind the shelf as well. Oh heck, okay. Where the shelf meets the wall. Can I still do that? Not really. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so the shelf has completely come away from the wall again. No more nails is not holding it. So now I can't put no more nails behind the shelf on the wall. Hey ho, let's give you a quick look at the risk of losing everything. So here we go. Winky, winky, wonky. I'm going to put no more nails all along the back here, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, yeah, so disaster has officially struck. I put the bracket in the wrong place. This is why I should never, ever, ever be a carpenter or handyman or anything like that. I seem to be pathologically incapable of doing this stuff. Right, so see the hole there? There's the hole, there's the screw, and never the twain shall meet. So I'm going to try and manually push the screw into the wood, and my last port of call, really. Last attempt. Okay, so the thing has just completely come off the wall, and I cannot screw that in. It's an utter disaster. Right, so I cleaned the normal nails off the wallpaper as best I can, and I washed the whole shelf off in the bath to get the rest of the no more nails off. I have no idea what to do now. No more nail says it secures anything to any surface. So let's just read the bottle again, because it sure wasn't securing this, which is not the 10 dumbbells on the packet of no more nails. Although it's very heavy, probably the heaviest shelf in the world, it is not the 250 kilogram advertised on the packet of no more nails. Okay, so this packet helpfully doesn't tell you the weight it can fix, the weight it can glue. And in any case, the shelf and the wall and the paper are now wet. So I guess I'll have to wait till tomorrow to try and use, well, I'll have to go and buy more extortionately priced no more nails, which is impossible to squeeze from the tube. And if I was rich enough, I would buy a special tube with a special dispenser, but I'm not, so I'll buy some more ordinary no more nails tomorrow and attempt to fix an IKEA shelf to a wall using that, and I will put the grandfather clock by this shelf tomorrow. Okay, so I don't know if in my kind of DIY mania I'm hallucinating, but it seems like IKEA actually put the screw hole in the wrong place, which is why I had to do it manually here and failed once it was on the wall because I couldn't put enough pressure on it. So this is the IKEA screw hole in the one side. Yeah, to go in there. And the IKEA screw hole on the other side is here, which anyone can see is not in line, and that is the thing I tried to do manually. Am I losing the plot? Does someone understand what's happening? No, it looked like IKEA made the mistake, and due to IKEA making the 1 in a million mistake, because I've never seen them make a mistake before. Actually I have, yeah. It's not 1 in a million, it's about 1 in 20 probably. My remaining shelf came down, and I don't know any other way to put it back up because I can't use any of the holes that I used before. The only thing I can think to do is tomorrow I go back to Robert Dyer's and I buy the awful ugly kind of metal brackets, the big ones, and I put them this side of each of the brackets for this shelf here, so they're not visible looking this way, and the metal brackets are actually holding it to the wall. It means it'll look terrible looking from this way, the other way. I can't think of anything else except get another handyman in and pay another, I don't know, £300. Right, my next job is to take off this intercom, which is obsolete, it doesn't work anymore. No one in this whole building of 500 or so flats uses these ugly, actually it's so bad, it's so ugly, it's so old, it's so retro. It may actually be desirable in some people's eyes, but it really doesn't go with my arts and crafts theme. So Oh, I thought I broke the grandfather clock then. No, it's just the brown curtains behind it. So I'm going to bash it off the wall. Now to do this I have to turn the electrics off. I have my tools here, the most important of which is a mallet and a chisel, and I'm going to really, really enjoy smashing that out of this piece of man-made. To me it summarises. Anyway, the most important thing is rubber gloves, because then I won't get a shock. So even when I turn the electrics off, which is going to happen, I won't get a shock. First of all, I need the torch, the flashlight. I think I can put the flashlight on while videoing. No, I wasn't able to use the flashlight at the same time. Let me try again. No, again, the minute I hit the video, or in fact the camera button, the flashlight goes off, which is great. So, it's a shame that you have to just, actually I could use my laptop. I could use the light from my laptop. And then you might get a glimpse of me smashing the out of this useless man-made piece of crud. Okay, great. So we got a bit of light. Okay, here we go. Rubber gloves on first. And now I think there is a way to unhook this. Oh, I can't manage to kind of unhook this, but I'm just going to whack it and I'm going to really enjoy this. Oh, one go. I don't have to bother with all the wires. Oh my god, that is fantastic. I hope you got it. Oh, that was wonderful. That did me so much good. Okay, I'm just going to poke this wire back in here now. I wish I knew I was allowed to do this and that it was obsolete before I did the bloody wallpaper. Never mind a picture of here. Okay, so let's tap this in and hope I don't get a shock, but I got my and all the electrics off, but I got my rubber gloves on. It's gone, something's gone right. Maybe the DIY will turn a corner now. Just have a good bash for good measure there. Wonderful, wonderful. Hooray! I feel like I just decapitated or disemboweled something I really hate. Wonderful. It's absolutely therapeutic. I wish you could all have enjoyed that. Maybe we'll frame this, like put it in a little glass box. How the building was before. Remnants of the 80s. Wonderful. That can just lie there for a while. Right, so now that's it for the haul for now. I can't do any more. I can't even put the shaker peg under there. The shaker rail with 3 pegs because the grandfather clock's in the way. Okay, so onto the bedroom. No, I'm going to put the other shelf up. I'm going to succeed and put the other shelf up. So what I first do is I hammer 2 nails in where the plasterboard fixings go. So after the 2 nails, I just need to find 2 more plasterboard fixings. And I'll just take the whole box. So, yes, we have half. Is it okay to hammer up till 9 o'clock? But there'll only be 2 brief lots of hammering. One each nail, so 2 taps really. I think that's okay. It's 8:30. Right, okay, so this long shelf here is just a bit too long to go beneath the 2 or in between the 2 door frames, so it has to go slightly above, which, and then this shaker rail is just wide enough to go in between the 2 door frames underneath. So I first of all need a chair.